Reading for January 31st, Science of Mind, A Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 86, paragraph 2, through page 89, paragraph 2, using inclusive language.
Metaphysics and physics. The laws of mind or spirit are not different from the laws of chemistry and physics. Metaphysics begins where physics leaves off. Everything is movement. Everything we can take hold of and analyze, all things in the physical world or the world of form are in a certain rate of vibration and are in effect. This is the result of an infinite thinker thinking mathematically. To reduce this proposition to the practical life of the individual, our belief is that anything the mind thinks, it can unthink. If, therefore, by the law of cause and effect, we have produced unpleasant conditions, we should be able by this same law to produce an entirely different effect. Another principle which is fundamental to our practice is that not only what is set in motion can be changed, but that the truth known is demonstrated. The knowledge of truth and its demonstration is both simultaneous and instantaneous. Since we are dealing with that which is limitless, knowing no big and no little, the possibility of our demonstration rests not in the principle, but in our acknowledgement of and embodiment in it of the ideas we desire experienced. The saying of peace will not produce peace unless back of the word is a realization of the meaning of peace. So in the simplicity of our own language, we try to convince ourselves of the reality of that which we are treating, for which we are treating, knowing that in such degree as we have an embodiment of the idea, it is thrown into a mechanical field and must operate. Spirit is the power that knows itself. Whatever that power within us is that knows itself constitutes the part of us which is spirit or spiritual. To be self-conscious is to be a spiritual entity. Mind, in its self-conscious form, cannot be differentiated from spirit. Mind, in its subjective or subconscious state, is the law of spirit. Humans are a spirit while God is the spirit. Humans are an individual while God is the universal. But since the individual comes from and is in the universal, it follows that humans are a little world within themselves. This is what Jesus meant when he said that we have inherent life within us, within ourselves. The meaning of inherent life is real life, creative life. No limit can be placed upon the spirit of humans. It merges with the universal spirit, for the two are really one. God is in us as we are in God. The same essence, the degree apparently different. The one finite and the other infinite. And since the infinite cannot come from the finite, it follows that the finite must come from the infinite, a little circle within the big circle. Metaphysically, we recognize the universal spirit as the source of all life and inspiration, an infinite self-knowing, which we grasp only in part, but which is ever available since the infinite is omnipresent. The mind of humans is an extension of the eternal mind or spirit, and our evolution is the unfolding of this everlasting mind or spirit through our thought. Only one mind. There is no such thing as your mind, my mind, and God's mind. There is only one mind, in which we all live, move, and have our being. Things are ideas in form. What else could they be? There is nothing from which to make things except ideas. In the beginning we behold nothing visible. There is only an infinite possibility, a limitless imagination, a consciousness, the only action of this consciousness being idea. That which we call our subjective mind is, in reality, our identity in infinite mind. It is the result of our mental attitudes. It is our mental atmosphere, our center in universal subjective mind, in which are retained all of the images, impressions, inherited tendencies, and race suggestions. We see then that our subjective mind is the medium through which experience comes to us. There is one first cause, spirit, soul, and body, cause, medium, and effect, the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, not three gods, but the triune nature of the one God, the one cause. We think of spirit as absolute, self-conscious intelligence. We think of soul as receptive to intelligence, and the intelligence as always acting upon it. Spirit and soul intersphere each other, and both have omnipresence. The spirit of the universe permeates the soul of the universe, forever impregnating it with ideas. The soul of the universe is the holy womb of nature, producing the forms which appear in the manifest universe. The body of the universe is the result of thought of spirit, operating through the medium of the soul. The Father is absolute, positive intelligence. The Son is the offspring of the Father. The Holy Ghost is the servant of the eternal Spirit. Throughout the ages, Spirit is absolute intelligence, operating through the soul of receptive intelligence, impregnating it with the divine ideas. The personalness of God. We should think of God not only as principle forever pushing forward into expression, but as infinite person. In other words, if we merely think of an abstract principle and a mathematical law of cause and effect, we should lose all warmth and color. We should be very careful in abstracting the principle not to forget the essence. There is something in the human mind that desires to think of God or Spirit as person. Anything which has been in the human mind since time began, anything we are unable to erase from the human mind as a deep urge arises out of reality. Let us not forget that there is inherent necessity for warmth and color. The universe is more than an inexorable law of cause and effect. Personality cannot emerge from a principle which does not contain the inherent possibility of personality. In each one of us, to each one of us, through each one of us, something is personalized, and that which is personalized is personal to its own personification. Spiritual evolution should make the infinite not more distant, but more intimate.